Okay, thanks. I want to come a couple of questions. One, I partly referred to when I quoted from Laura Flanders about the linkage between events in Egypt, Tunisia and so on. The question is, do you think that events in Tunisia and Egypt and the accompanying media coverage were the catalyst for the Wisconsin protests? I think a quick one on this, please.
Very quick. Molly Stentz out there from WORT. I promise you, we're not going to take it. We'll just be a quick sec. Molly, come on, run us here for 1 sec.
I'm going to let the best reporter in Madison, the person who covered every aspect of it, come up and answer that question. Molly Stentz, the news director of WORT, our community radio station in Madison that covered every aspect from the very beginning of this struggle.
Day 55.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and you know, not only were people inspired, and you know, people tried to make a lot of connections between Mubarak and Walker, and there was all debate about that, but it was definitely the imagining of the possible, you know, that sparked the imaginations of people in Madison and across Wisconsin. And in fact, I feel like the other story that's not being told is what Wisconsin has inspired in other states. I'm just getting messages now that the occupation in the Washington Capitol, right, in Olympia, Washington, is still going on despite the fact the governor had them all dragged out. So we've seen this in Michigan. Yeah, Michigan, you know, Washington, Ohio. I mean, things are happening. It's not getting the coverage that Wisconsin got because they don't have the people, they don't have the same numbers. But it's been incredibly inspiring. So these things really do matter, the coverage. And the only thing I wanted to say about community media, as John mentioned earlier, it's so vital that if you have a local station in your community, that you give it support. Because the reason that we were able to do coverage was because 35 years ago, members of our community in Madison had the foresight to create the station then that exists today that pushed out the coverage. We were there every day because our station was 6 blocks from the state capitol, and we had the infrastructure and we had the ability to respond immediately. We had the connections. We started doing stories. You know, we had reporters from around the country coming to us, you know, using our studios. We had film crews, TV crews, radio crews, producers from NPR stations, from community radio stations. You know, we had the BBC calling us in. What's going on in Wisconsin, you know? And we were able to push the stories out of local people because we were there, because we had the infrastructure. And so the time, you know, to respond to a crisis with coverage is not after the fact. You need to have that infrastructure in your community so that you will be able to cover the stories. So if you have a community radio station or an independent station or independent press or independent magazines, you have to support that in your community if you want it to be there for you when these struggles happen in your community. And if you don't have a low power station, an LPFM station, now's the time, folks. When they open the window, now's the time. And if they're not doing local news, tell them it's the future. They have to do it to be relevant to the community. Get in the local news department. That's my plug.
Molly Stentz from WORT. Molly Stentz.
Okay.